Here we go. We're back. Another episode, Peg City Soundoff. Today we got Joe Carson. This one's been in the
Hey,
books. This one's been in the books for a while. We wanted to talk guitars for a little bit.
absolutely we did. What's going on? How you been?
Good, good. Been pretty sick lately, but
It's
got
going
through that.
around, eh?
Oh, it's terrible. It's terrible. I have more of a voice today, but yeah, it's been a rough one. You? How's things with you?
Yeah, not bad, not bad. Enjoying this for all those
Holy
watchers.
smokes!
That's insane.
Unbelievable!
If you're a Jets fan, man, that's
Unbelievable!
insanity to watch. That's why I don't normally wear jerseys or stuff anymore. Like I used to years ago. But for to do like this interview today, I'm like I got to throw on like a Jets jersey because this is insanity this season.
Unbelievable! Unbelievable! I'll let out my deep dark secret, and I'll tell you, I wish I was a Jets fan right now.
Oh no!
Yeah, dude, I'm an Islander fan. I'm sitting at the bottom of the barrel right now.
You know what? You had good runs in the '80s. There, you did. You really did.
I know. I wasn't old enough to. I wasn't around to experience it.
Uh,
I just
I,
been in the dark ages.
been watching been watching a lot of the Jets lately and doing the new Arsonist album.
Yes. That was first thing. Obviously, when we talked, we were talking we're gonna have a guitar thing, but holy smokes, out of the depths comes an arsonist recording session.
Yeah, well,
Little
we've been writing heavily for like since I joined the band. I want to let you in on the secret that we've been kind of hinting at. We have the second record is coming out. Like it's basically done tracking. Ash is in there right now doing vocals at Studio 23, tracking vocals. And then we have a couple more sessions when Matt gets back from Italy. Then the record's going to be pretty well out, probably by early 25.
wow, good for
And
you guys.
there's a third record coming not soon, like not far after.
Wow,
We're already playing songs from the third record.
cool. Just writing, eh?
It hasn't ended, and it's crazy how fast these songs have all come together. Like we'll go in, we'll come up with a riff. There's a song on this album called "The Unseen War," which came up with. I was in my little studio here practicing, and I came up with this little ditty, and I took it to. No, I shouldn't say ditty anymore. I, I took it to band practice, and we wrote a song probably within 45 minutes, and had all the parts written except for lyrics. Everything was done.
Wow, good for you guys. Yeah, looking forward to it. Obviously the last one was good. You weren't on the last one though, right?
I was on the last one.
You were.
I was on the I Don't Care, Bleed, and Lost Again.
Perfect. Awesome. Well, looking forward to hearing some new stuff from you for sure. And you guys have been busy. You just did the Six Pines. We'll call it the residency out there. That's awesome.
Six Pines residency. That was a great 3 weeks. We had. I'll give a big shout out to our sound guy Steve, Rip Tap Music. He did a great job through all 3 weeks. Kept us in line and made sure that everything went well. And there was some technical issues on day one, but there always is. You're playing
Mhm.
outside. You are adapting to barometric pressure and all these different scientific numbers that I don't know anything about. That we're trying to account for in the sound. And by the end of week 3, we really had it down, and the finale show was something to behold. That's for sure.
Yeah. You had some special guests out there too. I saw.
We had Rusty Shackelford come out, and she sang a bunch of songs. We did "Bark at the Moon" from Ozzy. We did "Shout at the Devil." We did the Cranberries' "Zombie," which for the first
Mm.
week when she was there, because she was only there for 2 weeks, the last two, and then I just didn't play guitar because it's a one guitar song, and Ash had it all figured out. So I was like, yeah, I'll just sing this one with you. And that was weird because, like I said before the interview started, I had my guitar on, and
Yeah.
I kind of feel naked without a guitar. It's just the comfort zone. Everybody's used to seeing me with a guitar on.
Yeah, for sure. It's funny with actually just you mentioning that. Um, it is funny seeing some musicians when they're not playing a song. You could almost challenge them to not put a guitar on, and I've seen a lot of bands where the vocalist who usually plays guitar doesn't play guitar in the song. He still has it on, but I bet you they couldn't go with it because they'd feel naked, right? Actually,
Oh yeah.
Chris Cornell, like Audio Slave's second album. I remember seeing him then, and it was almost like he wasn't sure what to do without the guitar on him, and it was like, oh, guys, put the guitar on.
It's definitely when I sang Zombie with Rusty there at Six Pines. It felt weird not having a guitar. Like, what do I do with my arms?
Yeah.
Get used to it pretty quickly. But I've been playing guitar now. I've been playing since I was like 12 or 13 years old. I'm 29 now. Turning 30 next June. Like to be on a stage and not have that guitar is very very off putting for me.
Yeah, a little different day. How so actually that was one of the things I was going to ask you, how long you've been playing for, cuz it looks like looks and sounds like you've been playing for about 100 years now, so
Thank you, thank you. I know I started playing when I was 12, and I'm not really sure on the math. I think it's 12 or 15 years now I've been
mm,
playing, somewhere in that range.
yeah.
I can't really remember a time when I didn't play the guitar. If that makes sense.
Yeah, yeah, for sure.
It's such a big part of
Absolutely.
my personality through growing up and through going to school and everything, that the guitar has always just seemed to be something that's always been in my life, even though it came in kind of later than a lot of players start. They usually start at a younger age. But I've always done like school concert band and played the
Yeah.
trumpet poorly, played bass guitar, and then that led to the guitar.
Did you take lessons growing up, or did you just self teach?
I self-taught for the first couple of years, and then I did take lessons at the St. John's Music in Winnipeg
Oh, cool. Yeah.
with Mark Rowland was my teacher, and he taught me for many many years, a lot of years. And he's a great
Awesome.
player too. I don't know where he is anymore, but he was a great player, a great teacher, and a great mentor.
Hmm. Excellent. Yeah, and there's nothing wrong with, like, I get what you're saying. A lot of people start younger, and for myself, I didn't start till I was 18, maybe 18. So, and I look back on it now, and I wish I would have learned piano first. I feel that piano would have opened some gateways, and then I started. Well, I play piano for whatever 5 years now, but I always thought I should have went piano first. But I never intended on playing guitar. I've always been a music guy, like growing up. My dad was in
I,
a band well before me, but I never really cared to do it. And then, like, my story of it is I bought my dad a guitar when I was 18. I was coming out of my first job basically, and didn't make enough, got all my taxes back, and thought I'm going to buy my dad a guitar. He used to be in a band, and I remember buying it for him, and he's like, I never played guitar. I was a singer. I'm like, oh, okay. So then I had a guitar in my house, so someone's got to learn it, right? That's my guitar story. What's your guitar
I
story?
paid for it. So I learned how to play it. My guitar story was growing up. I was always music in the house. There was always something going on. There was my parents listened to the 92 City FM. They listened to all classic rock, Queen, AC/DC. I remember growing up listening to that. So they really formed my music taste. Was both of my parents. And then I took to concert band and learning how to play the trumpet and just as something to do in school, which then led to me playing the bass guitar. Which from then my dad decided that, hey, we should get him this thing. It was a little toy, and it was called the Power Tour electric guitar. It was like a little Simon Says game that you played, and it mimicked. And you could do Frankenstein from Edgar Winter Group. There was Judas Priest, Breaking the Law, and it was like five notes. It was Guitar Hero before Guitar Hero, and then
Yeah.
Guitar Hero came, and then I played Guitar Hero from basically day till night for a number of years, and got it that. And then one year, my dad just said, "Hey, let's buy him a guitar for his birthday," and that was a Fender Squire Strat, and that thing was my main guitar for so many years because I just loved that the way it felt and the way it played. But I've never
Mm,
been happy. I've never been happy playing like certain guitars until I found my EVH stuff.
yeah. So, okay, that leads me to a great question then. Do you feel do you feel worth in a expensive guitar versus a cheap guitar?
It is totally, and all there's people that are gonna get mad at me saying
Oh
this.
yeah,
It's
no,
all
say
in
it,
your
say
hands.
it.
It's all in your hands. It does not
Yeah.
matter if it's a $200 guitar or if it's a $5,000 guitar. It, you're gonna sound like you no matter what you do. You know, you could make you can get Eddie Van Halen to play Randy Rhoads' guitar, and it's gonna sound like Eddie.
Hmm. Yeah. And you know what?
And
I've seen so many interviews of Van Halen back then, and I'm pretty sure Nuno Betancourt talked about it. Billy Corgan talked about it. Billy Corgan's story is great, where he walked in and saw his gear set up there and said, "Hey, can I play it?" And Van Halen said he couldn't control it,
no,
and it
it's just it's so
even
wild.
even yeah, even Betancourt, who's a phenomenal guitarist, he said, "You play Eddie's rig and you still sound like you." And
The thing is,
it's just
and
amazing.
listening to Nuno talk about Eddie, and you listen to his tone throughout the early albums. Like he started with a lot of gain from that modded Plexi Marshall that he had, and then
Hmm.
you go down to like 1984, and there's on the Hot for Teacher, there is no gain on that amplifier. Like you think it's this huge oversaturated of gain and everything, but it's really clean.
Hmm.
And honestly, late like if you plugged into my amp, it's very clean. Like my distortion that I use live is off the clean channel on my amp.
Interesting. What kind of amp do you have?
5150, baby.
I knew that. That's
Yeah,
awesome.
Matt always makes the joke because the guitar is a 5150. It's
Yeah,
a that's the one that everybody sees me with is my purple 5150, and then I use the amp. It's a 5150 as well.
yeah. Oh, it's excellent. Is what are you using? Just that one guitar? Or don't you have a second one? Don't you? I
Yeah,
feel
I
like
got
I've seen you with something else.
this one,
Yeah,
my Dime.
yeah.
This one that I'll take out live too. My
Okay, that's the
Wolfgang.
other one I've seen you with. Yeah, yeah.
There's I'm getting rid of a lot of my collection. Is my parents want to move eventually,
Yeah.
so and stuff that I'm just never going to use again. Like I'm getting more into the EVH stuff
Hmm.
due to reasons, and I really want to. I really want to just like get rid of some of my older stuff and just upgrade it to the stuff that I'm using currently.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, I saw you had a Marshall amp up for sale. So
It has been sold.
has it? Oh, good for you. Good for
It
you.
has been sold, and you know what? That amp was when I was playing in my old band Mojo. That was the amp that I used for so many both albums that we did, and so many shows with that amplifier. And it was really sad to see it go, but I can't beat a 5150 in tone and the way that I play and the style that I do. I really love the sound of this amp.
Hmm. Have you? Were you? Did you search a lot for a tone? There's a lot of people out there that chase tone for a long time. I being one of them. I was doing the same thing. I'm pretty happy with what I have now. But did you go through a lot of searching to find the tone that you want?
I've fought with it for years. I
Hmm.
had I used to run a big rack of effects and amplifiers and run two different amps each show. Quad cabinets, do two 2x12s and a 4x12, and try to split it and make it work. And different guitars, played ESP and LTD guitars for a number of years. And then got into, like I said, I got into this EVH stuff, and I haven't looked back. Finding the tone has been like my pedal board is very very small. um, I don't really use a wah pedal. I used to say I never use a wah pedal, but that's not true after Six Pines because I was using one because we didn't use the top box at all. But
Mm,
yeah, like you look at my pedal board, there's not really anything there, and anything that's there is just for practical use. Like it's usually most of it's always on.
okay, yeah. Yeah, that's the thing. I guess when you're running a 5150, I don't know a lot about them, but what I do know is even talking about Van Halen, he said many times he's never used a distortion pedal, right?
No,
Everything is
no,
just right out of amp, and obviously fantastic. And I think I told you this when you were on. I had you on the Boneyard when I was doing the Boneyard stuff. I remember talking to you about it, and we talked about tones and stuff, and just what you're bringing to Ash and the Arsonist, and yeah, it sounds fantastic. But I remember the first time I ever saw you, hadn't talked to you yet. Didn't know what band you were a part of, but you showed up on TikTok or something.
Yeah,
And I remember
TikTok. It
seeing
was
a
on
video of
TikTok.
you playing, and I feel like you were playing 17 by Winger.
Yes, I have.
Okay, there we
I have.
go. Yeah, and no, it just sounds fantastic. And you're regarded as people have brought your name up before, just on shows that I've had, just guitarists in the city. Obviously, your names come up, Ronnie Ladderbrook, stuff like that. But yeah, Joe Carson's name has come up, and a lot of people will say, just phenomenal guitarist, and yeah, absolutely right though. And
No,
always looking forward to
everybody.
hearing more. So
I think everybody who says that, and that means a lot to me. As I when I was growing up and first started playing, that this is all I wanted to do was play guitar, and I dedicated hundreds and hundreds and thousands, maybe even thousands of hours to playing. That it's I like to. It's nice to hear that people appreciate it and like to come out and see it. And I love when we go to shows and we play shows and the first solos of the night are always like, oh, they're not that hard. Like really, if we sat down together, you could play half of my solos in probably 20 minutes if I broke them down.
no,
They're
no,
not that complicated.
no, no.
They're really not that complicated, but
Yeah,
I appreciate it, and that's very kind to hear. Thank you.
yeah, no, it's always great here, and especially in the local scene, which we talk about a lot on here, just the support out there too, and it's just one of those things that it's just being recognized, for what you do, and especially for a person like you, you've been playing so long, and you just like you just said, you spent thousands of hours working with it, and it's great to hear some positivity after, and even for yourself to go into the studio and record and get your music out there. And you guys have been on Power 97. I know you guys were in the studio the one day, and
Yeah,
yeah, no, it's just fantastic. And like, I remember when you guys were on the Boneyard, and I remember before you guys came on, I talked to someone, and they're like, Ash and the Arsonists is the busiest band in the city. They always got something going on, and yeah, you guys were all over the place at that
it
point. So
feels like it does. Which I'm going to interject here with something that Ashley Arsonist is doing besides just the album. We are hopping on with the Holly Davidson band at doing the Christmas musical mission this
mhm.
year at the Marion Hotel on December 8th. I believe tickets are $15 and all proceeds go to the Christmas cheer board. So we are very excited to be taking part in doing some charity work and giving back to the city that has loved us so much this summer. It's been awesome.
That is
And
awesome. I talked to someone at work the other day. A girl came in, and she's part of a band called Moonlighting. I believe they're Moonlighting, and her husband has a band too. And she was telling me about that. I said, "Oh, what a great idea it is!" So great to hear you guys are on board with that too.
yeah, we're looking forward to doing it. It's anytime we can do anything for charity, we're going to try to, as that is it's important. It's important when you can if you have the means to do it. I think I find at least.
Yeah, for sure, right? So talking, just kind of talking about guitars and stuff like that. I had a couple of questions, little questionnaire things for you.
Absolutely.
What is your favorite guitar riff?
Okay,
Loaded question. There's so many good ones.
it's a three-way tie,
Okay.
and so the first one is the one that got me as a guitar player. What the hell is this? How does he play this? It was Van Halen's Panama,
Okay.
and tied with that is Winger's 17, and
Okay.
a song by a band called Mr. Big called Green Tinted 60s Mind.
Wow. Deep cut there.
That
They're
guitar riff,
yeah.
that'll give you nightmares to try to learn it. I still can't play it.
That's Paul Gilbert, isn't it? Paul
Yes,
Gilbert?
it is.
Uh wow. Cool. No, the great picks, obviously huge standouts. I'm shocked with that one though. Nothing wrong with it. Just yeah,
It's a deep
just kind
cut.
of a deep cut there. It's great.
Mr. Big's one of my favorite bands. Just
Yeah.
like to throw on at work or in the car or something. If I could throw on Mr. Big, I will.
Yeah, good band. I think they did a reunion tour last year, did they? Or the finale,
We
something
did.
like that.
Unfortunately, the drummer passed away a couple years ago. Pat Torpey passed away. But yeah, with and talk about firepower up front with Billy Sheehan and
Oh,
Paul Gilbert. Like
Huge.
insanity.
Yeah. Probably a band that, obviously had a couple of huge hits, right? But talk about an underrated band though. Like when you really,
Yep.
deep
They
dive
made
into
it.
them.
I think that. Oh, thank you for that purple guitar is a beauty, Joe. Yes, I love purple guitars, and that is something that's come in the last couple of years. That is, it's becoming a problem.
That's all right. Okay, we got the riffs. How about the solos? What's your favorite some of your favorite solos out there?
My favorite solo. They're all Ozzy Osbourne solos.
Ah,
It's a three-way. It's the first guitar solo that again, like I like Panama. This was what made me go. I don't know what the hell he's doing, but I want to do that. And that was I don't want to stop from Ozzy.
oh wow. Yeah.
With Zach Wild monster, just
Mm,
he does it. He goes from the rhythm riff right into this 900-mile-an-hour D minor pentatonic run that is insanity to listen to. The second one being Mr. Crowley,
yeah, okay.
Randy
Oh, it's
Rhodes, and
fantastic. Yeah.
then my third one is Bark at the Moon, the Jakey Lee solo.
So that's great. You got three different guitarists in there of Ozzy.
Just absolutely insane writing on all three of those
Hmm.
songs. And like we did the cover of Bark at the Moon, and that solo I spent hours trying to nail because I wanted to get that one right because it was so special to me.
Wow, cool. Yeah, no, those are obviously great picks. And I think growing up, I think Randy Rhodes is a big thing for me. It's funny. If anyone ever said, "Who are your influences?" I don't know if I could actually give you any. I'm not, to be honest, I'm just not sure. But growing up, Randy Rhodes was like the god, right? Like
Oh yeah,
he just the
Randy,
tribute album, my god, that live tribute album is just nuts.
considering how young he was when he passed away,
Hmm.
and what could have come later on in his career, and but what he left was unbelievable on the
Yeah,
Diary of a Madman and Blizzard of Oz. Just
yeah,
insane.
100%. Yeah, just two mega albums, and yeah, that's the other thing though too, right? Is you look back on the guys that died young. Hendrix died young, right? He was
27.
27. Yeah, Randy Rhodes died young. There's so many good guitarists that died at a young age, and it's like the stamp they left on history as it is. Is it enough? What was more? What could have been more? What would Hendrix be doing at 40, right? 40, 50,
Exactly.
60? Is he still reinventing things, right?
Oh, he
It's
probably
so
would be because
crazy.
he's arguably the greatest, guitar player to ever live in a lot of people's minds.
Yeah, exactly, right? Oh, there's yeah, everyone, yeah, Alex or whoever runs the Pure Entry. I'm pretty sure it's Alex
Your
runs the
entry
Pure
was
Entry.
so loud.
I'm pretty sure that's Alex.
You guys
How's
rule. I love that band. I love that band so much.
oh, they're so good. And yeah. And that's one of those things that we've talked about before with just the local scene. There's a great example of it, uh it's great. You got Pure Entry chiming in, whoever's running that. Yeah, I figured it was you, Alex. So, and then you get Thomas Henry in there, Thomas Henry, super fan, who is actually going to be on the podcast on Sunday with
Oh,
Fan Night. Yeah, I got Fan
oh,
Night
that's
coming up.
awesome. I didn't know you were doing a fan night. That is
Oh yeah,
incredible. I
man.
love it.
Fan Night is going to be so fun. We got yeah, Thomas Henry's coming on. One of the girls from Two Baked Girls is coming on. Alyssa, I believe her
Oh,
name.
nice, nice.
She's coming on. Ruth Morris, who's just a staple in well, from
Another one who I
especially
always see in my
for my
notifications.
band. What's that?
Ruth is another one I see in my notifications for the Arsonist page all the time.
Yeah,
I love
yeah.
it. Yeah,
She
I
just
love
pushes and pushes and pushes local music. She's lined up 3 gigs for my band now, and yeah, she's just a staple with it, and love what she does. So she's gonna be on there, and oh, there's Ronnie Ladderbrook. There he is.
Hey, we're having guitar night talking, and then there is the goat.
Yeah. You
right
know
there.
what?
Come.
And I was hoping the whole time when we were gonna go live, I'm like, I hope Ronnie's watching. He'd love it.
Oh, he was the first player that when I saw him play, that was a local guy as myself going, oh, that's where the bar is set, and now here's where I have to get to,
So
and I'm
Joe,
still working to get there.
talk about talk about the night you guys played. I believe it was at the Tap House, and there
Okay, that
was
was such a cool night and cool event to be able to play
mhm.
with my heroes and Ronnie Ladderbrook and Jamie Denor. That was such a cool night that we got to get together and that we got to play one song together. We did the cover of Voodoo Child, and to get that us three in a room together, I don't think more notes have ever been played at a venue before between the three of
Awesome.
us, because we all can pick up a guitar and just rip, but those two can do it at this level. So it's very cool.
Yeah, absolutely. I love watching Ronnie's he just posts these Facebook videos of him. He was doing a Pantera thing the other day, and he had these huge gauge strings on it, and it was like, Jesus Christ, man.
Well,
It's just
the
nuts.
large strings. I know that I've seen that Ronnie's been going to the bigger strings. Where I'm going away from that, I'm down to eights.
Okay, yeah.
I'm playing 8 gauge strings at the moment. They're a little you're getting a little light because I've been doing a lot of playing with doing the residency. So I think I'm up to nines now, and that's super heavy for me.
Yeah.
But to watch players play on the thicker gauge strings, I'm just blown away every time. Like, how do you do it? Why are you doing that to your hands?
Who are oh, he says, how do you
Oh,
like the eights, Joe?
I love them. I have a very, very light touch. I don't really break strings all that often. Len Milne at Bedside Studio, who linked me and Ash together and got me into Ash and the Arsonists. He can't play my guitar because it's very they're too noodly, right? Like if you're and he plays thick gauge strings. Len does, like
Mhm.
11s or 12s. Um, you try to play an 8 gauge string guitar after playing 12s, like you're gonna bend that note 17 octaves up.
Yeah, exactly, right? Who are some other guitarists in the city? Maybe you can plug a couple uh guitarists around the city. You know, there's yourself, Ronnie Ladbrick. Who are some other ones you enjoy watching?
Graham from Skyraid, Graham and Connor from Skyraid, two very, very talented guitar players and musicians, and just very nice guys. Because I would go out and say that like next to Pure Entry and Radio Ladderbrook and the Electric, that Skyraid is they're up here for me as local talent. They're a band that I've seen a couple of times now, and every time I see them, I always leave happy.
Yeah.
And as for other guitar players, I've always said that the greatest guitar player in Manitoba is Ash Sinclair. If my co-conspirator, he is in talented and will give himself no credit
Mhm.
for how talented he is. And also
Awesome.
Josh from Whalehammer.
Okay.
He played with me in a band called Mojo years and years ago, and he is an exceptional guitar player.
Excellent. Hey, it's always good to hear that too, right? I love the idea that when you messaged me and said, "Hey, let's do guitar night." It's good to talk about guitars and stuff like that, and and there's so many people with different influences, and like I said, I couldn't tell you who mine are. I really don't know. It's such a different thing, and to talk to you, just with your playing, my playing completely different. But I love hearing about your experience, kind of what you're doing, what you're playing, gear and stuff like that. And it's always cool to see people chiming in on the side there too, and especially
To
Ronnie.
see the chat going, which is cool, and like the names that are in that chat are those are A-listers in Winnipeg. That's an A-list cast going on over there. I love it. I love to see it.
Yeah, for sure. So what's next for you? You got the charity thing coming up on the 8th.
Yep, we got the musical mission on the 8th, and then we have the record coming out in the new year. With a third record coming out probably middle next year, it's basically written. We're just kind of like ironing out some of the details. We got maybe one or two more songs to do for that one. Um, unless we're deciding to go with a full length album, which we're kind of talking about in camp at the moment. Like if we're gonna go to do a full length and just do a third EP and then just release like the greatest hits of all 3 EPs.
Yeah, there you go.
Yeah,
absolutely. Joe, are you plugged in right now? Is that guitar plugged in?
Let me see. Give me 1 second.
Is it plugged in? Or are the tubes warmed up?
Well, give me 1 second. We'll see if this works.
Okay. I was gonna say, why don't you just throw down a riff or something here for us?
Can you hear me?
Oh yeah. Yeah, I can hear you.
Nope. You can hear it?
Yep. Yep.
You can hear how clean it is, eh? Like it's.
Awesome. Sounds fantastic. Sounds fantastic even through here.
We gotta.
Yeah, awesome. Sounds fantastic.
Yeah, well, thank you. And it's like I said, this guitar is something else. This is the.
Yeah,
I think
for
this
sure,
is the
right?
speaker right here.
Yeah. Awesome. Joe, last thing for you. I always ask a random question at the end, and today's question, with you being a kind of one of the guitar gods of the city, I need you to rate my guitar. Rate my guitar. This is one of them. But I need you to rate it. What do you think?
Is that the one you always play? Okay.
Oh God, yeah, I always play this one now.
We talk about the guitar community of like, what is your signature look, right? I love that guitar.
That's fantastic.
It'd be weird to see you not play that guitar. Like,
yeah,
Matt was talking about this guitar with me.
Yeah.
To see me play something else other than this, it's kind of off-putting.
Yeah. I have a Strat, same thing, a single invader, single volume knob, nothing else. But I also have the meme guitar. If you have seen, I actually posted the one day, guy complaining about people with Les Pauls with EMGs. I have a white Les Paul with black EMGs in it, and it's amazing. I love it, but I've really turned to this Fender thing. But yeah, no, I know. I love it. And it was kind of my Frankenstein guitar where it's like, I'm just going to build this thing. It's got some pretty cool things on it, but I wanted to put the actives in it, and it sounded good. But then I got my hands on these Fenders, and I'll tell you a short story about this pink Fender, but I had no intentions on buying it. And I was in Long McQuaid, of course. I got a buddy who works there, and he's found me all sorts of things. He found me a 12-string Gretsch. When I got back from LA, I needed a 12-string so bad. He found me this 12-string Gretsch, and then he found me a out of stock Robert Smith Schecter acoustic, and it's absolutely amazing. But he's found me these things, and they happen to have this pink guitar in there, and it was a demo. And my wife said, "Oh, you know how good that would look on the wall in the living room? Like enough said. No problem.
Wait a second. Did you just give me permission to buy that?
Yeah, exactly, right?
You said that. It's coming
Yeah.
home with me.
So exactly. So, a week later, I actually ordered a brand new one. I didn't want the one off the wall. I ordered a brand new one and didn't take long at all. I had that. So, but it has become my main one. I absolutely love it. And but we have a rule in the house here, one in, one out, which is fine. It's a good rule, but fortunately for this one, the one that went, or unfortunately, the one that went out was a Sinister Gates Schecter, and it was like my first major purchase guitar. It was years ago, the first run of them that came out, but that one had to go. It wasn't really my style anymore, and the thing weighed about 30 pounds on your back. So
Mhm.
I'm quite
Those,
happy with
those,
my hollow body Fender now.
those,
So
those Sinister guitars were very cool. Like the shapes were
yeah,
very interesting. Um, for years and years and years, I never played a Floyd Rose because I hated them. I didn't know how to change the string on them.
yeah,
And then these guitars, they don't go up. Like I can't pull up on the bar; they only go down,
yeah.
and it makes it a little easier to change the strings. And now I will never play anything else.
Yeah, exactly. Right. Yeah, the Floyd Rose system, I love it. But yeah, when a string breaks, the whole thing is just gone, right?
They're
And
really like you hate to love them, like
yeah,
because they're that good. Like when you know what you're doing with one, and you can do the work and change the strings, you love them. If they go out of tune or you have to emergency tune during a show, playing one of these outside in October, not ideal.
yeah, for sure, right? I used to take my guitars to, actually, funny you mentioned St. John's Music. I used to take it there, and I forget the tech's name there, but
But
Scott, Scott, yeah, we used to do all of them, and I remember breaking a string on that thing, and I was like, piss on this. I'm not dealing with it. I'm taking the Scott.
yeah, I my first Floyd Rose guitar, I bought it and because I bought it from St. John's Music, and they were like, hey, if you don't know what you're doing with this, maybe consider something else.
Yeah,
And like, no, I got this. I can do this. I can do this. And then that guitar got sold like probably within a year of buying it. I didn't know how to do it. Couldn't figure it out. But now I kind of feel like an idiot for selling that guitar because I
ah,
would love to have that if I could.
I know. I'm waiting to write something here with my band that I want a Floyd Rose with, and then I'll start regretting it after that. So, kind
Yep.
of
Yeah.
how it goes, right?
Usually that's how it goes. You'll write something. You go, oh, that would sound good. Oh, I don't have that anymore.
Yeah, exactly, right. What's your what's your view on app modelers?
Love them.
You ever use?
Love
Yeah,
them. Yeah, that's what I just was playing through.
yeah,
That is through my
excellent.
Guitar Rig 7 that I use on my
Okay,
computer. Uh, like live and stuff, I'd have to use my tube amps
yeah,
because I haven't found like when I did recording 10 years ago, I found that we modeled my Marshall and then we did the Kemper beside the Marshall, and I couldn't tell a difference. Like I really can't tell a difference between tubes and digital anymore. The technology's so good.
it is. I bought a Tonex a couple of months
Okay.
ago and used it at the tap house, and I absolutely loved it. It's just come so far, right? Like I remember, back in the day, modelers weren't really the thing, but yeah, I used that, and there's actually a 5150 on it. I was using it at practice the other night. It was kind of fun, but there's an AC30 setting on it, and it sounds so good. I usually run a super overdrive, a Boss super overdrive through it as well. But yeah, the the sound I thought was fantastic, and I was a little scared of it going to the tap house. And it was basically our debut there, and I'm like, I hope this doesn't spoil it, but it sounded so good at a practice and or at tap house, and used it for practices and just run a little boost amp. I have one of those Spirit of Rock Hughes and Kettners, and it's
Oh
just a
yeah, those
little
things.
yeah, it's just a little boost, and I just use it for that, right? Because unfortunately, with the modeler, you need some kind of power to drive the sound through it. But yeah, I'm pretty impressed with how the modeler works. And we're
My
playing.
one
We
piece
play.
of my one piece of advice to a new musician is, you know, you need a backup. If you're going to play live and you're going
Yeah,
to play live for your first time, or for first time going anywhere or doing anything with a new piece of gear, bring
Yeah.
something that you trust behind it. Like
Yeah.
if I'm trying out a new pedal or a new guitar or whatever, I will always make sure that I have a system that I can bypass that. So if it doesn't sound good or if it really isn't working, I can just cut it out because there's nothing worse than being on stage and it doesn't work.
Yeah.
And I had that happen to me at MTS Center in 2013, where I got on stage and it did not work.
Who'd you play with at the MTS Center?
I did the TJ's Gift Foundation Rockin' for Choices,
Cool.
and that was with my band Mojo. And I got
Yep.
on stage, my new wireless did not work.
Oh.
Yeah,
Ugh.
so have a backup, have a plan, and we figured it out. I went to a cable and everything worked. But
Yeah.
yeah, that's nothing's fun when nothing works.
Yeah, exactly. Eh. Well, we'll maybe wrap it up here, but one last thing for you. What once again being the local guitar guy that people look up to, one of the local guys people look up to, what advice do you have for for people looking to get into guitar? Or maybe already are in guitar and maybe are in a slump right now. What can you say?
Keep playing, keep playing. It's not that hard. It's not really it's a very easy guitar. It's sorry, easy guitar. It's a very easy instrument to learn. It's an impossible instrument to master. You'll never be the best. You can only be the best that you can be, and because it's not a competition. It's everybody plays a different style, plays a different way. But if you're just starting out with playing guitar, practice, play with other people, use your pinky, use your pinky.
Hmm.
Touch it, because I did for a long time. I still can't use it. I like if you watch me do any of my shredding runs or anything, uh, I use my first three fingers and I'll make them look like the claw, but it's because of I didn't use my pinky when I started playing, and that, I think is one of the biggest tips and advice that I can give to young players or new players or even existing players. Use it and keep
Perfect.
practicing and try to play with other musicians as often as you can.
Excellent. Great advice. Great advice. Yeah, been a great talk with you, Joe. We'll
Really
uh
great to see you.
we'll get together again on here sometime and obviously bring the rest of your crew next time, right?
No,
And
the next time we're on here, we'll be talking about the new album.
that's the plan. Absolutely. Yeah, like I said, great talking with you. I'm glad this worked out. Thanks for the idea of just having a guitar talk and just
Yeah, no
cool and
problem.
relaxed
This was
and
fun. This was a lot of fun.
absolutely, man. We'll talk to you later, okay?